It's another Wednesday. You're welcome to the Premier League Preview Show live on CTTV Live on Facebook. My name is Nathan Kwa. Show proudly brought to you by Betway Premium Bank and proudly supported by Vodafone Slide Pay and Guinness. We've jazzed things up slightly. We've taken away the comfort of a chair. Today we are standing all through. Benjamin Nketiah is my guest. Ben, we've switched things up a bit today.
I'm feeling like a footballer. Might as well just stretch my legs.
Warm up and stuff like that. We'll be getting into the show in a few minutes. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll open up last night because the Premier League is beginning to get into the busy schedule. Some games were played last night. Some games will happen later tonight. We'll look ahead to that weekend where the old rivals meet again. Arsenal taking on Manchester United on Saturday at the Emirates. The Premier League Preview Show is live. We are airborne. We'll be back shortly after this break. Hi, welcome back to the Premier League Preview Show right here on Facebook, live on City TV. Nathan Carr here once again. Benjamin Nketiah joins me. Ben, let's start off with last night. And it's a really fascinating time in the Premier League. The matches are coming in thick and fast, and the teams are getting ready. Let's start off from Vicarage Road. Now, Man United were going there, hoping to revenge last season's 3-1 loss. They had a very interesting encounter. Ashley Young, old boy, star of the show, they won by 4-2.
I'm exceptionally excited for Ashley Young.
Why?
Why? Because, like I always say, there's always been this attribute with United fans in particular. I'm sure you and I have been talking about it, where one fan or one influential United personality goes off on a player and it becomes a global crusade. I feel that Ashley Young has been wrongly slated by United fans for a long time. I mean, in between that time, he's had injury concerns. He's had to deal with a general team slump. I feel that
he also dipped in form as a player. You have to admit that.
Dip in form, yes, but who doesn't dip in form? But I mean, the length of the pitchforks that were coming for Ashley Young, you would have thought that he was probably the worst player on the planet. But yesterday, he showed us definitely that as far as he's concerned, he's just not done. I mean, this is what I call the veteran savvy. And for him to be able to bring out crosses like what he did last weekend, scored goals last weekend, free kicks now, I just think it's amazing.
When you watched him play, did you sense that he was out to prove a point? Or it was just one of those games where a player finds a good spot and then he exploits it?
It looks to me more like he's playing with a chip on his shoulder, you know, basically because now he's been stuck at left back as well. It's not even his favorite position. And he's proven that it doesn't really matter where you stick him, he can still play. And it's a statement for me that there are legitimate natural left backs in the team, and Mourinho chooses to go with Ashley Young. So that, for me, is a big statement. And again, for United and for Young himself, it should be pleasing that after what is supposed to have been your prime, I mean, his prime is gone by, he has re-emerged again and is doing things the old Ashley Young used to do. I haven't seen him in this type of form, to be very honest, in a very long time.
The last time he scored 2 goals in a game was years ago.
Exactly my point.
2013.
Exactly my point. So it looks like he's back doing some good things, and it's helping the club because guess what? United have really labored to create proper goal scoring opportunities from middle and open set play, and all the chances have had to come from wide play and the wings, and he's been in the thick of the action. So for me, his re-emergence is key for United because I really don't know how long this whole Pogba reintroduction, Zlatan reintroduction, Lukaku drought is going to go on for. So for him to have come up big like that in yesterday's game against Watford, amazing.
So United found goals from open play. They found 2 from Ashley Young, at least 1 from a set piece. 3 others were from open play. Very good goals, especially on the counter. Jesse Lingard closing the tie out when it looked like Marco Silva's men were trying to get back. And Ben, just a word on Marco Silva's Watford. Last night in that second half, they showed why they are one of the informed teams this season. They were brave. They were not afraid of the result. They weren't chasing the game. And they didn't care the price they had to pay. Eventually, they lost. But I'm sure he will look at that 45 minutes and encourage them to keep going like this in other matches.
And I'm sure he will feel hard done by because I felt that Watford were going to go into that game very motivated, especially on the back of, like you said, the results they've produced this season. I just didn't enjoy the sort of
they were really poor in that first
their
half.
enthusiasm, their energy, it was just flat for me. It was almost as if they hadn't been given a team talk before the match started, or they needed to see United kick their butts before they would get going. And I really don't think that's how it should be. In this league, you could win a match in the opening 10 minutes of a game, or you could lose it in the last 10 minutes. So just do your bit. I mean, come out all guns blazing, overwhelm your opponents in the beginning stages. And most of the time, I've realized that when teams can come out all guns blazing, can come out and make a statement in the first 10 minutes, the opponent teams usually do not have what it takes to respond.
So on that theme of overwhelming opponents, that's what Leicester City did. They started very well, scored 2 goals in that first half. Spurs found one, but when we look at Spurs, the question keeps coming up. Mauricio Pochettino, time and time again, has gone at his players, their mentality, their spirit, their hunger for success. He thinks his players are not pulling their weight. Is it time that we turned focus and looked at him as a manager, or you feel he's doing his work and the players are not responding?
Well, as far as Poch is concerned, I have no doubt in my mind about, one, his abilities, his tactical competence, even his man management. I feel that what Tottenham do lack is actually quality in certain areas.
Okay.
Again, I have no doubt in my mind that they probably have the finest backline in the Premier League. Midfield, that's where the problem lies for me. Because now we all know that there is an over-reliance on Harry Kane to get goals for the team. When he doesn't get going, then there's a problem.
Dele Alli, his form is not like last season.
That's where I think the problem lies. That it was a little foolhardy to have thought that a defensive midfielder turned attacking midfielder over one season was possibly going to be able to reproduce 10 goals again. And if we do that, we probably are trying to mark Dele Alli by Frank Lampard type standards.
Okay.
And again, he's shown us that he can do it one season. Can he do it multiple seasons?
But is it time for Eriksen to start demanding more from himself and start giving this team extra? Because he has the talent and ability to play. Some say he doesn't score enough and he's too preoccupied creating chances for other people.
I'm happy you're bringing this up because you and I talk about this all the time. And I say it again, that the players or the superstar players or the guys who get nominated for the Ballon d'Or, it's not because they are magicians. It's basically because they like to take more responsibility for their teams. It doesn't matter if it's about goal scoring, if it's about if you can take responsibility via assist, that's fine. But there are just times where you really need to go out there and do it all by yourself. Is Christian Eriksen the kind of guy who can pick the ball in the final third, possibly dink past 2 players and make things happen? I certainly think so. It's his role at Tottenham.
More that for Denmark, his country.
Exactly my point. It's his role at Tottenham designed to let him do that. That's the problem. Now, I don't think that Mauricio Pochettino gives him the necessary leeway to bomb beyond a certain limit. And so for him, he likes to play within a certain level of tactical discipline. But I think that they should unleash him a little more. Look, he has creativity beyond what I think we have not seen yet. There's a lot more to come from his tank. And you look at a player with his technique, it really is sorry that he does not score a lot more goals. This guy can shoot from 30 yards, he can shoot from all kinds of awkward angles. So
score with both feet.
This is what I think. I think that minimum expectations. I know that numbers might not always tell the full story, but for me, Christian Eriksen has to make at least 10 assists and 10 goals to be able to move on to the next level in his career.
I think Spurs, like you're saying, I think they need to reinforce that central midfield area.
They need to get some creative players
further up the pitch, closer to Harry Kane. Maybe that's when more goals will come.
Possibly a proven goal scorer as well, because Fernando Llorente, so far, I felt that he was a good addition to the squad. He's just not been given enough opportunity to be able to show what he can do.
You talk about goal scorers. Let's spend just a few seconds on Jamie Vardy's goal. It was a brilliant goal, intelligent goal. We've seen him score different types, but yesterday's goal was slightly different. He had the ball was falling over his head, and he had to lob Hugo Lloris first touch, and that was a brilliant goal. A nice way to score your 100th career goal.
And it's brilliant because, like you said about Jamie Vardy, we've seen him score all types of goals. And the bit about me is he keeps surprising me every time. Like every time I say Jamie Vardy can't do this, Jamie Vardy goes out and does exactly that. And
maybe the next step of his evolution is set pieces.
We might probably see bicycle kicks and scorpion kicks. You never know. He's just the man who does the audacious. For me, I'm just happy because Leicester City have been on the downturn. They're another team that have a glut of strikers and can't seem to get enough output out of those strikers. Why? the team just doesn't create enough chances, bypassing the midfield every single time with their direct play. Again, where's Riyad Mahrez? Why is he not?
Last night he scored a good goal.
He did, but I just don't feel that, like, yo, this guy's an MVP. I mean, you know what it is to be a Premier League MVP. He's just really fallen so far below the standards of what made him MVP. And I feel that it's basically why Leicester have become a middle pack team again. They really need to get it a few gears up, because I think that they're one of those teams that are underutilizing the level of talent that they have in their team.
So Leicester City got themselves a win. Spurs lost. They ended 2-2 between West Brom and Newcastle. And West Brom themselves didn't audition especially well enough in front of Gary Megson. While for Newcastle, the wheels are... I don't know if the wheels are coming off, but they just don't look too good there. They ended goalless between Brighton and Palace will love that point. More points accumulated. They need to survive. Then tonight, we've got interesting games on our hands. Our featured game is Chelsea-Swansea. We know Swansea's problem. They don't win games. Paul Clement has been talking about striking drills, scoring drills. But at Stamford Bridge tonight, they will feel the heat.
Yeah.
Chelsea need the points. They want to respond to whatever is happening around them. And clearly, Chelsea start as favourites.
Guess what? If your manager starts talking about fundamental drills that are run in academies, you know the team is in real trouble. Who else do we lay the blame on? Guess who? Jordan Ayew. He's scored one goal the entire season. And he's played more minutes than almost every single striker in the league.
They don't have options.
But it doesn't matter. He still
Tammy
played
Abraham.
more.
I mean, I'm not defending. I'm only saying that he will get to play. Of the two, Tammy Abraham and Jordan, who then should be given the responsibility? You think it's Jordan?
Yeah, definitely.
He should be leading the line.
He's a more senior striker. He's seen more than Tammy Abraham has seen. He's more experienced. He's been all over the place. He definitely should be taking more responsibility. But this really brings into better perspective what I've been saying about Swansea for at least the past 2 seasons. Look.
Even more. You talk about the lack of identity.
It's great that they have Clement, but what is a good manager with nothing to work with? I mean, the best thing that happened to this team was getting Renato Sanchez on loan. That's the best thing that happened to this team. So, I mean, just put that in perspective for a second and look at what Swansea have done with themselves in terms of objectives for the season, transfer business for the season.
Not good enough.
It's just all over the place for me. I really think that Swansea will get relegated. Why? Because they just don't have enough substance for me as a team. I mean, like I said, Paul Clement is definitely a brilliant manager who I think will cut it elsewhere. They just have not provided him with the necessary arsenal to be able to compete in the Premier League. It's just not right material for the Premier League.
For Chelsea, we saw them over the weekend fighting back to get a point at Anfield. I'm sure it's a forward march from that point, and they will look at Swansea and think that that's a team we can beat tonight.
They should, and they should be beating them
heavily.
I mean, again, I have still not been convinced by Chelsea this season. I mean, they've won games here and there. They still have cracked the top 4 now, but they just don't look fearful for me. And it's very sad. Like, championship teams are supposed to put fear in teams in the tunnel. Before you walk out onto the pitch, you should know that a mistake will be punished, whether it's in the first minute.
And you don't think Chelsea have that fear factor?
They don't. And that's a problem. But their star players are not showing up as well. I mean, everybody might be raging.
It's taking weeks to get Eden Hazard here. He was injured. He's starting,
exactly.
And I think.
I mean, he's gradually picking up, but he really needs to get it going and get it going quickly because his other Premier League rivals are really firing. Okay.
Now we've got other games on our menu. There's Everton taking on West Ham. David Moyes goes back to the team that made him and he built to an extent. Arsenal take on Huddersfield, and Huddersfield are hoping that things will go right for them in London. Chelsea, like we've established, they will take on Swansea today. There's Liverpool who are travelling to Stoke. Joe Allen comes up against his former team, and I'm sure he will hope that things will work well. Stoke at home are dodgy, but Liverpool away and on the break. Last season we saw a great counter-attacking game for them to win 2-1. We could see a little bit more of that tonight.
I think Stoke will get whacked pretty hard tonight. 4 5 goals maybe, because if you look at Liverpool, they've had to withstand a lot of ridicule, especially Jurgen Klopp. And I get the sense that he's that type of guy. He always possibly monitors the tabloids, monitors what
and
journalists are saying,
and
then says, okay, that's what they are saying. I'm probably not competent now. I probably don't deserve the Liverpool job. I have said it. I've said that his shenanigans are really becoming too much. And it's already been 3 years since he's in charge. And it's almost as if he's inherited the team new again. And he's trying to reinvent, trying to sort out things that should have been done ages ago. Only fortunate thing is he's coming up against a team that is absolutely atrocious in defense. Yes, they do have good individual defenders, but Stoke have never really known how to defend as a unit ever since Tony Pulis departed. I would love to see Roberto Firmino scored, though it's been quite a while.
We'll see Bobby Firmino. You're being taken by Benjamin Nketiah to get the goals. We'll see what Liverpool have got to do this evening, though. They travel to Stoke, and Stoke is essentially becoming a one-man team. If it's not Xherdan Shaqiri who's doing the job, no other player wants to take responsibility. Very horrible there. But this weekend, it's a fantastic weekend. We've got games for you. Chelsea, Newcastle, Brighton, Liverpool. The showstopper for the weekend is at the Emirates. Ben, it's Arsenal taking on Man United. In the last 2 to 3 years, Arsenal have dominated this time. They've beaten United under Van Gaal. They've beaten them under Mourinho. And Arsene Wenger would want to get another one over rivals. After beating Spurs at the Emirates, they want to get United scalp. And Mourinho, his approach in big games has been questioned ever since he walked in, especially on the road. Yeah. How should he go at this? And for Arsenal, should they be worried about Manchester United?
Well, there's a good reason why Arsenal, I think, stand a good chance of beating Man United again. Because every time United have met Arsenal, they've never treated Arsenal like Manchester City or Liverpool or Chelsea. They always seem to think Arsenal are their babies. Arsenal are their... I won't use the word, but yes, they always seem to think that Arsenal are there for the taking. And that's where Arsenal really have found strength for this tie in the past couple of seasons. So, again, I expect Mourinho to actually think that, well, this is a chance for us to go out there and express ourselves. Okay. Because, like I'm saying, a player like Pogba has possibly gained more match fitness at this point. Mata has been flat for a while. He will be looking at this as an opportunity to possibly get things going and get himself going again if he's given a shot. Mkhitaryan, possibly, if he gets an unlikely shot, we will see what happens with him. But I feel that Arsenal will want to be attack-minded as possible. Mesut Ozil, I haven't seen him play a game like what he did against Tottenham in such a long while. He
was brilliant.
He's been practically the anonymous one for Arsenal in recent time. He's been doing everything else but playing good football. So, I mean, there are rumors also, if you believe them, that Man United are in the hunt to sign Mesut Ozil when he possibly walks away on a free. So, a lot of reasons why individual players within the two setups will want to go out there and have a good game. But this is what I think. United need to be direct. They don't need to think that they need to change or soften their approach against
Where direct would mean what?
Direct would mean use Antonio Valencia a lot more, use Ashley Young a lot more. I think that's where the strength has been for the team in recent times. Pogba and the central midfield area around the center circle, there hasn't been a lot of influence from there. When the influence has come, it's always been in the red zone, around the area between the arc of the penalty box and the outer line of the center circle. So it really is important that United will do very well with their wing play, getting crosses, take shots from outside the box. They've been trying to be too intricate.
They need to be braver and a bit more
They've been trying to be too intricate in recent matches, and we've seen that taking a shot actually gets you results. Deflection, whatever it is, it will get you a goal. For Arsenal, first thing for me is that Arsene Wenger needs to come out with a proper selection. These days, you need to watch out for Arsene Wenger and Jurgen Klopp when they put out team sheets, because they have the tendencies to put out the most ludicrous-looking team sheets. They have the tendencies to sit their star players
on the bench.
It doesn't make any sense. So for me, I think that this would definitely be a game of equals for me. If Arsenal put out a team that look like their strongest setup, they will be in with a chance. Prediction, I would typically go for a score draw in a game like this. But again, Arsenal need to get their game right. They need to get their mind right about selection. They could win this.
So Arsenal could win. That's on Saturday at 5:30. On Sunday is Bournemouth taking on Southampton in a game that promises to be very lively, very quick, very direct. And then we close out with Manchester City taking on West Ham. If West Ham's form are anything, or if West Ham's form is anything like what they've portrayed in the last few weeks, we should get ready to harvest goals for Manchester City, because Manchester City do have the quality to pound and pound really, really well. We'll take a short break. When we come back, I'll go through a lot of your comments. They've been coming in torrents. I'll go through a lot of them, and then I'll be picking Ben's predictions for this weekend's encounter. He's giving us only one, but there are 4 more games he has to talk about. You're still watching the Premier League Preview Show live on Facebook, live on CCTV. We are back shortly.
Who will have the stamina to last the 90 minutes?
Their star striker is suspended. They've got no kappa.
The marking will be tight.
This will be won or lost in the midfield. This is why I bet. This is why I bet.
This is why I bet. Betway, for the love of the game.
Inside the last minute of the opening 45 here.
Scores. 1. Who? Red. Blue.
What? Scores! What
Scores.
Halftime.
Scores!
We unite. We defy. We hope. We dream. We play. We are fire in our hearts. We are made of black.
Namaste.
Hell's down heaven now, living in the same town, trying to find something new. This ain't right, it's no good, no good.
Hello, I'm home.
Hello.
I've been here for too
Jumbo.
long,
How am I late?
going through the same things.
Premier League Preview Show. We are getting to the very, very, very end. I said I'd get Benjamin to give me his predictions for the final games. We are getting down to that. So Ben, let's start off. On Saturday, we start off with Chelsea taking on Newcastle. Rafa Benitez goes back to the team he stabilized a few years ago, but his team will need a miracle at Stamford Bridge.
I'll go for a 1-1 draw.
How? How is that going to happen?
Newcastle are in a bad place. If there's anywhere Rafa wants to go and poop, it's Stamford Bridge.
But he needs quality to do it.
He's shown that he can do it with half quality. If there's anybody who can pull off an upset at the Bridge with this type of team, it's Rafael Benitez.
Okay, Brighton take on Liverpool. That's on Saturday at 3 p.m.
Brighton, Liverpool. Liverpool to win this by 1-0.
Why not 2 or 3?
It will be a tricky encounter. Brighton have shown that they are a very brave side. They don't really mind who they are playing against. They know how to get it done.
Okay, there's Arsenal taking on Man United. You predict an Arsenal win. Slim, heavy.
Arsenal
Last
to
season
win
ended
by
2-0.
Arsenal to win by 3-2.
3-2. Open scoring game. All right, let's start off with Sunday's game. Is Bournemouth taking on Southampton. That's at 1:30.
Bournemouth 3, Southampton 1.
We saw Southampton beating Everton last
Southampton
week.
would beat Bournemouth at home. They won't. They won't.
You
Bournemouth
don't think so?
They're just too strong at home. They look at teams like Southampton as equals. They look at teams like Southampton as teams that have fallen off their perch.
To be honest with you, and I agree with you to a large extent, Eddie Howe's men or boys seem to play very well against teams of equal strength, and they know how to take advantage of those games. Final game: Manchester City taking on West Ham.
5-0 Manchester City.
5-0.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It could be more.
You don't think Moyes can do this job, can he?
It could be more. It could get nasty in that game.
Interesting.
It could get nasty.
Sané, Silva, Sterling, De Bruyne.
Everybody could get in on the action.
Fernandinho,
everybody could get in on the action.
All right,
West Ham are that bad now.
Let me go through a few of your thoughts here, and some messages have come in there. So, Fred Bemenya says, good work, thank you very much. Says Chelsea will demolish Swansea. That looks likely. Enoch Bredio also says, I foresee United repeating the result from the 2010-2011 season. United, I think, won that particular encounter. If it's 2010-2011, they lost. It was an Aaron Ramsey goal that settled it, I remember so well. Nido Queno says, Arsenal will beat Man United. Simple. Okay. And Koma Oforiata Emmanuel says, United is not playing well. Arsenal should win. He says Arsenal not will win. He says should win. Okay. Joe Jack says Man City will drop points this weekend. Okay. Okay. And Ogbedi was talking about Fantasy League. Okay, we'll talk about that later. Don Willie says, I see Arsenal winning both games. Dali Godwin says, I disagree with you, Don. John Roberts says, Benjamin, proud of you, but Klopp has to go. Okie Chum Daku says, I disagree with Ben that Man United will lose against Arsenal. United is definitely winning this one. It will be thrilling and it will be exciting. Anina Rasmon says, you are dreaming by saying Arsenal to win 3-2. Ben, people are not too happy with your predictions.
Well, I mean, it's what it is, and it's the pattern that has been drawn for this encounter in the last couple of games or so. But I just think that United have this passive attitude that really irritates me when I look at the sort of quality that they possess in their squad.
More on the front foot.
It's just embarrassing.
Okay, Ebenezer Jan is reaching us from Oklahoma, from OKC. Are you an OKC Thunder fan? Says, nice to see you guys. Nice to know you are watching. I'm wondering what's happening to our friend from Cambodia. We've not heard from him.
Probably on the rice farm. Or
probably harvesting rice.
Maybe drinking rice wine. I don't know.
It could be anything.
I don't know.
Okay, Joe Jack says, tell Benjamin that Chelsea will win their next 6 games. Okay. Kwabna Kagawa says, United all the way. Frederick Amfo says, tell Ben we are beating Arsenal on Saturday. Lots of those comments coming in. Of course, you need to keep the discussion going there on our Facebook thread. Of course, hit us up on Twitter. Ben is on Twitter. I'm on Twitter. Why not? City973. That's the Twitter handle. But Ben, just before we go, 10th December is the day of derbies. There's a Merseyside derby. There's a Manchester derby. We are at Bosphorus in Aboni, opposite the Cupcake Boutique. That should be thrilling.
Look, if you haven't been to a City FM roadshow this season,
look, we've lit up the whole of Accra every time we've stepped out.
These days, my biggest fear is that I won't probably have anywhere to stand. So that's my biggest fear these days. Because the road shows get so packed, I need to take times in between the program, just go outside, go breathe a little, come inside. That's how good it is. That's how good it is. It's crazy.
December 10th, we are out there. I think it's the last one of the calendar year.
And the matches are juicy.
It's the day of derbies. The Merseyside derby, the Manchester derby, and there's Arsenal Southampton. What a way to spend your Sunday at Bosphorus. That day, join us. We go live from about 11:30. Bosphorus is at Laboni near the Cupcake Boutique. That's where all the fun will be happening. Next weekend, December 10th. Ben, nice to have you here. And we'll meet again before December 10th, next Wednesday.
We should.
Hopefully by then, United should have beaten Arsenal.
I don't think so.
That's our Premier League preview show for today, proudly brought to you by Betway and Premium Bank, proudly supported by SlidePay, Vodafone, Guinness. My name is Nathan Carr. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for watching. We are back next week. Take care.